Guys, great to see you. Welcome back to another lesson. And today we're going to be continuing on with our lesson on Hotel California. We're now up to part 4. And in this lesson, we're going to be taking a look at the 12-string guitar part. And this is such an iconic part of the song. And of course, it can obviously be played on the 6-string guitar as well as the 12-string. So let's remind ourselves how it sounds. Okay guys, so as you can hear, such an iconic part of the song, the 12-string guitar part. Now don't be phased if you haven't got a 12-string guitar, that really doesn't matter too much because it still sounds great on a 6-string, and I'll be playing that for you on a 6-string towards the end of this lesson. Now I'd like to just give you a little bit of advice before we zoom in and get started, and what I would like to say is that for each of the chords and corresponding finger picking patterns, I would just like you to take your time on each of those until you're comfortable and then move on to the next one, and so on and so forth until you reach the end, and then you can bolt the whole thing together, and at that stage you're going to have the whole 12-string guitar part. Okay, so without further ado, let's zoom in and get started. Okay, so we have a capo, 7th fret, and I'm going to refer to the chords like so. So this would be an E minor, this would be a C. So kind of shapes you'd be familiar with, right? And our first chord is an E minor, and we're just going to strum the top half, right? So the bass half, like so. And we follow that up with okay, so that's all fretted on the E minor apart from the very last couple of notes there, whereby I move my ring finger down from the 4th string to the 3rd string to play that last couple of notes together. So one more time. From there we go to a B7, so essentially all we've got to do now is add the index finger to the 4th string of the 1st fret and our little finger down on the 1st string of the 2nd fret, and then we play one more time. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we are going to move into a D sus2. Now that's very simple. Index finger on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret, and the middle finger is going to go onto the 2nd string of the 3rd fret. And we're going to play this little figure. One more time. Then we go into an A9, and we're going to play then we just go to a standard C chord and play one more time. So nothing terribly difficult about that little bit. Then we go into a G section, and well, a G chord, and we play now let me play that again for you. You got the tabs there, but it's important to hear it nice and slowly. Then we have an A minor 7 chord, and we play and then for the final chord we go to a B7 and we play this figure. One more time. Okay, so that's what it sounds like, slightly slowed down on the 12 string, and that's what you're aiming for really. Just go nice and slowly, and as I always say, the tempo will come once you're confident about what you're playing. All right, so like I said at the beginning of the lesson, it still sounds great on the 6th string. So let me show you what that sounds like. So there you have it, guys, and hopefully you can hear that whatever guitar you decide to play this on, it still sounds great because it's such an iconic piece of guitar playing. So I hope that you just enjoy the journey with this one, because if you do, you're going to succeed. So just take your time and work through each of the sections slowly and correctly, because it's very difficult to undo something incorrect. So for example, if we learn one note that's incorrect, it's very hard to undo. So make sure you just take your time, and then that way you can avoid that mistake. Now, another thing that you can do if you find this a particular challenge to your playing is to just get familiar with the chords and the transitions, because if you can do that, then you don't have to think too much about the left hand. And a lot of what's happening here is in the right hand. That's why I'm saying if you can get that left hand so you don't really have to think about it too much, you're going to be able to put all your attention on the right hand, which is where it needs to be. And another thing to bear in mind is that whenever you're playing something which is quite intricate like this with a plectrum, and you're going from a lower string to a higher string, then you should always pluck that lower string before coming to the high string upwards like so, rather than downwards. Okay, so that's something else to bear in mind when you're doing it. And like I say, get familiar with those chord positions. So we start in an E minor, then we go to a B7, okay, and then we go to the D sus2, to the A9, to the C, to the G, to the A minor 7, to the B7, and cycle through that a few times, like I say, until you can just do it without thinking too much about it. So there you have everything you need to know to get this part down. I hope that you enjoy learning it and the process. You know, don't get too stressed with it, just try and enjoy it. Please share your feedback down below. I look forward to seeing you soon with another lesson.